From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
Healthcare leaders in Montana join the governor to make an appeal to citizens as cases spike in the Treasure State. Their advice coming up. Also ahead, hear what candidates Mike Cooney and Greg Gianforte are saying about education as the hard-fought battle for governor heats up some more here in Montana. It's right now 6:30. Meteorologist Matt Elwell, Chet Lehman with you here, working our way through Thursday, the hardest day of the week in broadcast.
At least for us.
Yeah.
That morning show is hard by Thursday, waking up early.
And we don't have enough time left to explain to you why that is. Just trust us.
That's right.
It's Thursdays are challenging.
Yeah, they are. Even our director went and got coffee. I've never seen him get coffee before.
I know, right? Yeah.
Way to go, Jesse.
It's Thursday.
Temperatures into the 30s for most of us, 21 in West Yellowstone. Our skies are clear for now. We will see some afternoon clouds trying to roll in. We have maybe a thin veil of clouds early on, but our daytime temperatures back into the 70s. And we're going to stay in the 70s as we head into the weekend. We're going to see a little ebb and flow in the temperature. We'll talk about that, how much smoke we may see, and much more coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. Some sad news to top this half hour of headlines. A Belgrade man died after his canoe flipped on the lower Madison River on Tuesday. Scott E. Smith II of Belgrade died after his canoe hit a large tree snag that was in the river channel about 2 miles north of cobblestone fishing access. Two fishermen found one man on a gravel bank with minor injuries. Smith was still inside the canoe, caught in a tree. Gallatin County Sheriff's Office, Search and Rescue, Three Forks, and ambulance and fire all responded. Cause of the death is still under investigation by the Gallatin County Coroner's Office. Also, Montana averaging more than 300 new COVID cases a day. That's been happening for the past week. State hospitals report feeling the pressure from COVID hospitalization and are stressing the importance of following COVID guidelines. Several chief medical officers joined Governor Steve Bullock to make a public appeal yesterday. Benefis Health System in Great Falls currently at 115% capacity with 37 patients hospitalized, 7 in the ICU. In the Billings area, there have been days of single-digit beds capacity left. Now, Governor Bullock says that while the system is not overstressed yet, hospitals are in a difficult situation as cold and flu season approaches.
Our concerning trend in cases right now should cause us all some alarm. And what's most concerning is knowing what can happen to our healthcare system if we don't get the spread of this virus under control now. We've seen it happen in other states, and there's no real reason for it to happen in Montana.
Governor Bullock says he recognizes that his words will not convince everyone to take to wearing a mask and social distancing, but adds he hopes people will listen to doctors and nurses who are dealing with the virus every single day and have watched many Montanans die because of it. Now, MTN's Janelle Slade in Billings talked with the White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx, who is watching Montana's numbers climb. She says she's very concerned. Dr. Birx says she knows people are tired, but as the virus spreads across the state and more people die, she stresses people need to plan smart. She says that's especially true as we head into the holidays.
Any message or specific message about making your holiday plans in Montana with your families?
You know, I think this is really an important topic, and I think you're absolutely right. We have to be able to tell people how to protect the vulnerable in your family and how to protect your neighborhoods. There are ways to be physically distant but socially engaged even within a household, to have those grandparents and aunts and uncles together, but have those that are in family pods physically separated from each other at a minimum of 6 feet or more while you are eating and have your mask off. We can do this together. I know it's going to take a bit of engineering, but we're smart and creative people. I know they've got the can-do spirit out there in Montana. We can figure out our way forward and re-engineer utilizing all the rooms in our houses to keep people physically distanced in their groups, in their pods, while we come together in a physically distant way.
Now, the full interview with Dr. Birx can be found on our website. Montana COVID-19 deaths now stand at 183. That's an increase of 5 in the last day, include 1 each in Yellowstone, Flathead, Roosevelt, Glacier, and Sweetgrass counties. 36 new confirmed cases reported by the Gallatin City County Health Department. That includes a letter to Montfortin School District families that there is a case in the middle school. All the close contacts had already been notified. 5 people currently hospitalized with the virus in Gallatin County. Butte-Silver County had 3 new cases, 8 new cases in Beaverhead County. Park County, 3 new cases. Deer Lodge County reporting 2 new cases. Well, Montana's race for governor is one of the top contests on the 2020 ballot this year. This morning, in the second of our 3-part series, MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison tells us about the candidates' plans and views for the future of Montana education.
Democrat Mike Cooney says funding Montana's public education system from pre-kindergarten to college will be a top priority for him as governor.
That's how we prepare the workforce for this state. That's how we make sure that the entrepreneurs and the businesses in this state have that pipeline of workforce that they so desperately need. So we need to make sure that we look at education as an investment.
Cooney says he wants to freeze college tuition, publicly fund pre-kindergarten, which Montana doesn't have now, and look at boosting teacher pay. But he doesn't specifically say how he'd pay for it all.
You do it through working on a budget. Now, it's up to the governor to put it out there for the people of Montana to see, and I'm willing to fight for these things, and we'll figure it out.
Republican Greg Gianforte says his top priority on education will be increasing the pay for public school teachers because Montana has the lowest average starting teacher pay in the nation. Gianforte believes those salaries can be increased by getting rid of regulations that force schools to spend money on unnecessary things other than salaries.
As I talk to public school superintendents, I feel like I'm talking to small business owners. They are tied up in red tape that's preventing money from getting to the classroom.
And he wants to expand skilled labor education in Montana to fill job shortages in many technical fields. Cooney also says he will oppose using public funds or tax credits to assist private schools in Montana and criticizes Gianforte for being a supporter of such efforts.
He is the one who has said we need to take resources, public dollars from public education and move it over to private education. You cannot call that an investment, stealing money from one and putting it into private education.
When asked about whether he'd pursue such a program as governor, Gianforte says only that parents know what's best for their kids and that he is for strong public schools. Yet Gianforte has clearly been an advocate for school choice programs and private schools. He and his wife Susan have funded scholarship programs for students at Montana private schools, and their family charitable foundation has contributed at least $12 million to Petra Academy in Bozeman, a private Christian school that their 4 children attended. Gianforte also co-authored a brief at the U.S. Supreme Court last year, arguing that Montana's constitutional ban against public aid to religious schools should not block a state tax credit funding scholarships for those schools. Gianforte also wants to freeze state funding and says it's not the time to start new education programs before first focusing on increasing teacher pay. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Now tomorrow, find out where the candidates stand on health care issues. By the way, this weekend our series of MTN debates continue with that race, the race for Montana governor. You can watch it Saturday night at 6 o'clock on KBZK and KXLF or on our streaming app, which is available on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android TV. Going to take a quick break here on Montana This Morning. When we come back, Montana isn't the only place with surging coronavirus cases, also happening in the Midwest. Coming up later, learn what's being said about that. But first, let's check in with Gail King to see what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, tens of thousands of airline workers are now facing furloughs amid deadlock in Washington over a new coronavirus aid package. We'll hear from concerned workers losing their paychecks and their health insurance. Also, parties and social gatherings are now being linked to coronavirus outbreaks on college campuses. In our School Matters series, we'll take a look at how Greek life is affecting the number of cases there. And October, can you believe it's October already? Yikes. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In our morning rounds, Dr. Tara Narula joins us with how COVID is apparently delaying breast cancer diagnosis and what you should know about getting screened. We'll see you at 7 o'clock on the dot.